What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Fiction Tea Review. Today on Fiction Tea Reviews, we are going to talk about this Netflix movie that I watched yesterday. This was like so weird. So weird. It's called The Forest of Love. It is a drama, suspense, Japanese film. Let's get into it. So it's a Netflix Japanese film about some con man, aka a perverted insane creep, who is bent on killing women / teenage girls, and a group of young wannabe filmmakers who decide to follow and record this man. First off, I want to talk about the voiceovers. The voiceover was trash. It was not good. The English voiceover usually never is good when it comes down to Japanese films, when they try to put it together. It always just reminds me of like old school martial arts films. It's just not good. Not good. But to be fair, the plots and the storyline made up for the crappy voiceover. Also, the characters' acting wasn't the worst. So we have this character named Mitsuko, who's just like this innocent, naive, lost girl who's like cooped up in her room. Spoiler alert. Sorry, spoiler alert. And her parents are just kind of really ignorant to her feelings and her needs and what she wants, and her mom and dad are basically insane and they only care about what other people think. The dad mentioned something about, oh, don't call the police even though my daughter was about to kill herself because you don't know what the neighbors are gonna think. And it's like, what? Forget what the neighbors are gonna think. Your child is going through these mental health problems. She needs help. And I'm just like, wow. And then the mom, she tried to like confront her about the whole coin situation and the guy. And I'm just like, this is not how you address this situation, screaming and yelling at her. But anyway, the portrayal of women in this film, specifically Japanese women, is just straight up disrespectful, and God, horrible. I mean, the women are completely passive, super submissive to a point where they're disrespecting themselves. They, as you could see, hold the men, it seems, in a higher standard than themselves. They're bowing to the man. They're getting on the floor and praying to, like, it was just like getting beaten around and slapped around, and it was just terrible. Honestly. Not to mention, Mitsuko had no proper guidance. Not to mention, neither did some of the other girls in the film. The music, though, I will say was great. From beginning to end, I love the music. It kept me engaged. The music definitely put me in a certain mood. The theme was Romeo and Juliet, and the classical music went along with it. I love the music. I loved how they executed the music with the scenes. It was beautifully shot and beautifully done. I have to admit, like, I enjoyed that. The women fighting and fussing over the guy, another ridiculous moment. It was just like, you could see the worshiping of men, the worshiping of those men, the naiveness of women was shown a lot. So there was a part in the film, spoiler alert, where they found out that Mitsuko was getting like abused by this guy, and they decide they're gonna go meet the guy and have dinner with him. And I was just like, why are you guys going to go have dinner with this guy who's blatantly, clearly abusing this woman that you found out they was abusing one of your so-called friends? And you guys are just sitting at the dinner table, casually having a conversation with this guy after you saw the bruises on her body, and you see that she was getting beat up and tortured. And I'm just like, this is weird. This is weird. You guys should either be A, calling the cops, or B, whooping his ASS, because there are 3 of you including the 2 girls, 5, and there's only 1 of him. And I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? This is the weirdest thing ever. Who's going to go meet up with this murderer, sit down and eat lunch with this murderer after they just watched him abuse and beat up this girl? Not even watch, but after they seen the scars. And it's just, the whole scene was just weird. And I'm just like, what? That goes to show that they don't have any type of respect or consideration at all for the women in this film, or women in general, because according to this film, this was based off true events. And it just blows my mind. Like, I was completely upset about that whole scene, and I'm just like, this is not even real. But then I was like, wait, technically this is real because this is based on true events that actually happened. Wow. Yeah, after that part and like continuously watching, I was like, this might be the weirdest movie I've watched this year. Disturbing. At first I was like, is this the most disturbing movie I've ever seen in my life? But then I was like, I don't know, because Human Centipede was really uncomfortable, and so was Dead Girl. I mean, this involves so much gruesomeness, violence, and a strange turnout of events throughout this film. I felt like in certain parts of the film, I felt like I was traumatized because the characters were so traumatized, especially the women. And even one of the boys, it's just like they just went into this whole thing where they started to block things out, and I'm just like, yo, I feel traumatized through their trauma of watching this and knowing that this actually happened. God. And so many traumatizing death scenes. Oh my God. The death scenes. Wow. I mean, on the horror side of things, as a writer, as a wannabe film director, it was great. I mean, the horror, the gruesomeness, the all of that. I'm not going to get in detail, but all of that, it was good for that purpose. But just thinking about the fact that this actually happened makes it really uneasy, but it also makes the film good. And it's like, I don't even know how to put a word on this. And then you realize this guy turned everyone into sociopathic murderers. He manipulated them. He basically took over their movie and basically ruined their lives. Oh, but the ending though. The ending, plot twist, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but oh my God, the ending just took a whole whirlwind. And once the ending happened, I was like, that's it. I like this movie. I like it. I like it. It was good. For a movie, it was good, but it's just the fact of constantly thinking about this really happened. It's really weird. Really weird. But the movie itself was just like, what? Say, this whole time? Y'all thought y'all had one up? And y'all did it? This is the type of movie that I like. This is the type of movies that I like to see. It was good. That plot twist just took me on a whole spin. I mean, how poetic was it for them to implement the Romeo and Juliet theme throughout the entire thing, hit you with that plot twist, hit you with that character at the end, the theme, the portrayal of Romeo being the opposite of what you thought it would be, and then the ending, it's just like genius. You got the Forest of Love, hence the name, the title of the freaking movie. The forest at the end of love. Like, if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful in a very strange way, honestly. I mean, the mental trauma that these kids had to go through is just insane. And if you're dealing with mental health issues and you're into the whole psychological aspect of things, because you know their mind had to be jacked up for all of this to happen. And speaking of psychological thrillers, you can get a copy of my book Rain by yours truly, and the link in the description box below. It is about a group of young adults who is in a psych ward, trying to figure out why they're in a psych ward. They all have traumatic issues. There is a kid with schizophrenia, there's a suicidal maniac, there is a murderer, there is a trans girl, there is a soldier with PTSD, there's a girl who's experienced loads amount of trauma through rape and molestation, and they're all trying to cope while living there, while trying to figure out why they're there in the first place, thinking that those things are the reasons why they're in there, when in fact there are other reasons why they're in there. And they get this new counselor who's trying to do the same, also dealing with his own traumatic psychological things going on in his mind, and him discovering like, oh my god, I think there's more to the story, and I think you guys might actually have some sort of abilities, and that might be the real reason that you're actually in here, even though you guys are all a little batshit crazy. So if you're interested in reading more about it, you can definitely hit the link in the description box. The chapter, the first chapter, actually you can get a little bit of reading inside on that in the link below. And you can also read the back if you're really curious about what's going on, and more books to come. I'm going to be dropping books like that. Like I have a ton of things that I've written, and I just want to make sure I have everything together. There's going to be so much more content coming out, and I can't wait to do more reviews, and I can't wait to introduce you to the rest of my books. So if you like this video, if you enjoy Japanese films, if you just enjoy watching me do reviews, then hit the thumbs up and be sure to check out the film, and I will see you all next time. Also check out my book. I will see you all next time. Peace out. Oh, and also, happy Thanksgiving. Be sure to spend the time with your family, and make sure you truly understand the meaning of Thanksgiving and the history, the true history behind it. It's very important. Have those discussions with your family, and yeah, it's important. Also, eat good food. Bye.